I want to today, or probably I should even correct myself and say that it's not even just a want. I need to talk about a subject that is not just important to me, but it's relevant and important to every single person who has ever touched on the subject of suicide, whether it's been someone who has survived a personal attack on oneself in the act of trying to suicide, or whether it has been through losing a family member, a sibling or a friend or a partner to suicide, a school friend, a work colleague, even someone you didn't know that you may have been witness to or had a moment with. It's such a shock, and it impacts us in so many confronting ways. And as with all grief, there is no set pattern on how you should handle it. There is no handbook, like many other things in life. There is no handbook on what you do or how you come to terms with it, or the right way to feel, or the right way to act around each other, because we're all different. And while grief is grief, we all manifest that grief in different ways. We process death and suicide particularly in all sorts of different ways. For one person, it's just shock, and there's an immeasurable amount of time that shock can transcend. I can guarantee you it won't just be a day. Even for someone that you didn't know very well, it will be more than a day. It comes back time and time again to impact your life, and it insidiously creeps into just about everything in your life. And I don't know if it's always just because it's someone that's close, or whether it may be that you've touched onto that subject within yourself at some point. But it makes you look at your own life. It makes you think about how finite and fragile life is. It makes you view everything in your life differently. Because unlike other deaths, when somebody dies of a heart attack or cancer or a car accident or whatever it was, there is no closure on it, because you do not have a concrete answer on why. Sure, we can come up with theories, their wife left them, she took the kids, they lost their business, and failed financially, lost everything that financially meant anything. It meant they failed as a parent. They might have felt resentment over something that they never quite got over. Childhood trauma, they could have lost a partner and felt completely alienated and disconnected from the world from then on. Whatever it was, it's mental health. It's always mental health. I need to get that through. I've had people who've reasoned with it and said that suicide it's a choice, and that it's not a mental health issue, that they were of lucid mind, they made a conscious decision, and they should have every right to do that. I've heard of people who had the authority, according to the government, to go out with an assisted suicide because she got raped and she was a teenager. Well, I've been raped. You can still survive it. And my rape was a bad one too. But you can survive it. You can rise up with the right support. It might not be your family, it might not be your friends, it might not be anyone at all that you know, care and feel like you need to be loved and supported and protected by. But you can get the love and support you need if you chase hard enough and long enough. And usually the most important one comes from yourself. But with suicide, the difference is that you feel very, very alone. So when someone is suicidal, for any one of you people who have gone through this feeling, it's so particularly alienating, because nobody really understands what you're going through. Sure, there's millions of other people in the world who might feel suicidal, but there's really only you with your experience. There's really only you knowing what you feel right now. And when you're surrounded by darkness, it's it's impossible to see the light. No matter how much somebody tries to take you to it, or to show you the light, or to open that curtain, or to tell you to cheer up, or to grab a handful of tablets and feel like you're dependent on it over and over and over and over just to get you through the day. I've heard it many times. I've had many friends who have gone through suicidal thoughts, who have tried suicide, who have sat within hospitals, or have had to let go because of suicide. And I don't think that it's any coincidence that I'm surrounded by people like that. There are open conversations. We have open conversations about how we feel. We're real and honest and open. I will cry my heart out when I'm down. A lot of people don't understand that. But the reason I do it isn't just for me. I do it because I want to open the doors for other people to also know that it's a safe space we are sharing together. And that if you feel like laughing, crying, not saying anything, saying everything, you're welcome to do it, and so am I. And the reason why is because of suicide. It's because when you don't talk, when you don't have that support network, you don't have a sounding board, people aren't around you, or they're pretending that everything's okay, they laugh it off, they alienate, isolate you. All those things are what can officially drive someone to suicide. In saying that, it's still ultimately a personal choice. In saying that, there is nothing that you or I or anybody else can do to stop somebody from making that decision. But there is every reason, and statistically there is value in every reason, on why if somebody puts out a sign for help, then we should take it, and we should make ourselves available to some degree for that person. We should be able to be their wingman while they go in for support. You know, if it's over an addiction of some sort, then when they cannot see 1 foot in front of them, we can remind them. We can give them different avenues for them to chase up, you know, to make a phone call, or to take a lead, or to drive them down to the GP, or whatever it is, or just to occasionally visit them if they're tied up somewhere sorting out what's going on for them in their lives. But there is no excuse for alienating people at their darkest times. I stand by this time and time again in my life, time and time again. It makes me so deeply imbued with sadness that this world is so disconnected that we feel the need to pretend that everything is fine, and that we continually step away from those who are showing evidence of deep, deep pain, to go forth and to connect with others who are not. I understand that darkness can envelop others. I get it. However, there's no excuse for unkindness. And that extends itself to those who are left behind after a suicide. Please don't dismiss them. Please don't put a time limit on their grief. This is not relevant to me. This is relevant to everyone, not to just marginalize people or place expectations or conditions in the way that you love them or how you accept what they're going through, because only each of us can understand, and even then we don't really understand, but we can feel our own pain. The best people to help us through our pain are the people who are present in quiet and safe spaces, and the best people to get us out of that pain are people who are professionally energized with different methods and strategies to be able to disrupt that pain, or to help us face it by being by our side while we are, or, you know, somebody else. I invite you to find this space together with me for a moment and to close your eyes. And when you're closing your eyes, I want you to explore that darkness, no matter where it takes you, no matter how sad it might make you feel, no matter what feelings come up for you, no matter whether it's anger, frustration, even if it makes you smile. Take this moment out of the chaotic world and just consider the worthiness of this moment, the uniqueness of this moment, the gift of this moment, to just be silent within yourself. To just absorb these natural sounds of life's motion. There are no conditions on the sounds. You could hear cicadas, you could hear water, hear the brushing of the leaves. Through closed eyes you could visualize stars, millions of them, because there are. We don't always have to see them to know that they're there. But take that moment in stillness and embrace it and hold it. Literally see yourself reaching out with your hands, fingers outstretched. In this particular moment, stop still and just absorb it. Take in that stillness. Absorb that. Breathe in that fresh air. Consider that this moment, like many moments that we overlook because there are so many minutes that pass us by, and in every episode of our life, it's an avalanche of moments. Some are good, some are not so good. Some we can change, and some we have no control over. And I know that in your mind's eye, just as mine, we can explore those things in great detail. We can run circles with them. And we can wallow in them. But when you have that darkness descend on you like that, and if it is right now, I want you to see it, but I want you to consciously make an effort internally to thank it, to thank that thought for reminding you that you are connected to this world and you are connected to your feelings and that they are guiding you to what's going on for you when the rest of the world tries to distract you or keep you busy or keep you away from feeling, or take you away from your sadness, or your busyness, or whatever it is. This moment belongs to you. No matter what it brings up for you, it's your moment, it's your time. And every day it's really imperative that you make that time for you. Whether you're walking, whether you're sleeping, meditating, praying, sitting there with a candle on to remind you of people who've gone that you love, sitting there with a candle on for yourself to light the way. But for every moment of darkness, I want you, with those outstretched fingers and those arms that are embracing the warmth of this moment. And there is warmth. It's a practiced feeling that you have to work on a day-to-day basis. And it's a practiced thing for you to give yourself permission to embrace some love in this moment, some kindness in this moment. To really breathe it in, to really absorb it in. Even in the darkness moments, you don't even necessarily have to look for the light. But find one thing in your day, just one thing even, just to focus on. To begin that step in the right direction of self-love and kindness. could be that the fact that the sun shone, or that you had clothes to wear, that you managed to get food from somewhere, that you got petrol to get from A to B. One person smiled at you. You had a flower. You saw this flower. You took the time to notice it. You found the stars, or they found you. For that split second, you had a memory that made you smile. When we practice looking for those things day after day, we realize how long ago we've left them behind. And it's a practiced effort that takes us back. And part of that journey is to come back to this moment every day. And to put your hand on your heart and to warm it and step into something healing and safe. Your heart is beating, and it's beating for you. Everything in your body, no matter how broken, no matter how pained, no matter how scarred, you still have the breath to continue where others don't have that gift. And we can't go on without another, because we can live what they can't. In fact, it's important for us to do so. Because if they were here and we were trying to reach them, and logically, if we felt like we had any means of finding them, if you were going to say something to them in the most kindest way possible, when was the last time that you said that for you? So I ask and I pray and I focus that in each of these moments you will continue to live beyond theirs. Take the energy that they left and bring it into the warmth of your heart and water that garden with love, enough for you to begin healing. And if that's too hard right now, then just sit with how you feel. Absorbing the peace and the silence, the majesty of this very moment. Take all the time you need. Rest if you need to. Sometimes you don't need to explain that to others. And then when you're ready, I want you to stretch out your fingers a bit, wriggle them and your toes. Gently open your eyes when you're ready. Thank you.
This could be good for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose. But when you talk to me, give me the impression that I won't scratch your surface. For days, searching for your praise, but is it even there?